Are you a fan of bacon? Do you like Canadian bacon or back bacon? Have you ever even heard of Pemeal Bacon? These are treasures of the bacon world, and you guys need to stick around and watch because we're going to make some here today. Roll the intro. Hey everyone, welcome back to Eat the World. I'm Chef Alex Lazik, and today we're going to be creating some of the treasures of the bacon world. So before we get started, please like, subscribe, comment down below. If you have any questions or anything, I would love to engage with you. So please do that. It's a really big help. It lets YouTube algorithms know that video is worth watching, which I think it is. So please, I would appreciate it. Thank you so much. So I have a whole pork loin here, and we are going to create back bacon, or Canadian bacon as it's called, and also Pemeal bacon, which I'm sure a lot of you don't even really know what it is. Well, Canadian bacon, or back bacon, is basically a cured and often smoked loin of the pork that is sliced up, like bacon is, and grilled or fried like normal streaky or belly bacon is. Canadians don't actually call Canadian bacon. It's very much an American thing, and to be honest with you, we don't really eat Canadian bacon a lot in Canada. It's there, but we've got other stuff that we eat more traditionally. Now, Pemeal bacon was developed by a British-Canadian man called William Davies, who came to Canada in 1854. Like with any bacon, the process and point of curing the pork is to preserve it. Pemeal bacon, similarly, is wet cured and then further rolled in ground up yellow peas, which is the pemeal, to then further preserve the meat. This is how it was done in the Victorian times. Nowadays, people just use cornmeal on the outside of the pemeal bacon. But we're going to make both here today, and then we're going to compare them and see what the difference is. Okay, so stay tuned, and let's get started, and we're going to be tasting all of this at the end, so stick around and see how this turns out. Okay, so this is a very simple cure of brown sugar, curing salts, kosher salt, and I use pickling spices and garlic. This is a lovely subtle flavor I find, but you can use whatever you prefer. We're going to start by adding 1/3 of our water to a pot to dissolve the salt and sugar and steep those spices. Add it all and give it a good stir until dissolved. This cure is a perfect balance of salt and sugar for one pork loin. Now I've taken the loin and cut it into 3 pieces. One for our smoked bacon, one for our Victorian Pemeal bacon, and one for the modern version. Try and get the best quality pork, as always, if you can. Now once your salt and sugar is dissolved, add the rest of the water cold and transfer it to a container big enough to hold the liquid and cover the 3 pieces of pork loin. Once they're all in, I like to put a plate on top of it just to make sure it's all submerged and leave this in the fridge for 4 to 6 days depending on the size of the loin, turning each piece every day. Once it's cured, remove the loins and dry them off well. You can now take one of the loins that we're going to smoke and leave it uncovered in the fridge for overnight ideally. The other 2 we're going to brush with some maple syrup, and then we're going to roll them. The first one is being rolled in these yellow split peas, which I've ground in a blender. Again, this is the original Victorian method. Roll it well and make sure you've covered all of those outer edges, and then we're going to roll the other loin in cornmeal. And finally, I had a pork tenderloin that I snuck into the curing brine as well that I'm going to roll too. So once that's done, we have our 2 loins, and that's it. That's how easy it is to make. You can leave these uncovered for up to about 6 hours in the fridge, and then wrap them up tightly. We're going to smoke the Canadian bacon. I already had some brisket going in my smoker. Please ignore that I didn't put it on the top shelf, or didn't wrap my brisket up before I put the pork in. This is just aesthetics, honestly. It didn't affect the flavor. Okay, so this was smoked with some maple. Again, full recipe on my website, but this is a very easy smoking. We just want to get the color and the flavor and not overcook the loin. So when it's done, it looks beautiful like this. Once it comes out, let it rest for at least a half an hour and then chill overnight. Next, we're going to slice our bacons up. I have this wonderful meat slicer that I use, but you can do it by hand if a knife is all you have. If you're using a meat slicer though, please be careful. They are very dangerous pieces of equipment. In certain professional cooking environments, they don't even allow meat slicers to be used anymore, as the risk to injury to workers is too high. I like them sliced slightly on the thinner side, but slice yours however you prefer. I've vac packed all of mine that I've sliced here. It will keep well in the fridge, but freezes excellently as well. And once that's all sliced up and vac packed, that's it. We're ready to go. Honestly, this could not be easier to make, and is way cheaper in certain cases making it yourself than going out to the shop and buying it. So I really encourage you to go out and try this recipe because it is fantastic. So anyways, let's have a taste and see how it all turned out. Well, that was a lot of fun making Pemeal bacon 2 different ways and Canadian bacon or smoked back bacon. I have to admit, I filmed all that, and then when I went to edit it, apparently my card was corrupt and all my footage from after filming was all gone. So I've remade it, and since then I've moved locations. This is where I'm spending my winter, which is pretty horrible, parked up right on the ocean. So I'm pretty happy with this scenario. Anyways, so we're gonna cook up this bacon and see what the difference is, and let's get to it now. So now that I've sliced my bacon, you can see I've got the Pemeal here done the modern way. You've got the Pemeal here done the Victorian way. And there's the smoked Canadian bacon or back bacon. Now I also, you didn't see me do this, but I had a pork loin fillet. So I cured that, and I just covered it in some cornmeal, and I'm going to cook that up too and see what the texture is like. I'm sure it's going to be very much similar to the other stuff, but just a little bit more delicate. So we're going to get started on this. That is our fillet of pork, Pemeal bacon. This is the more modern Pemeal bacon with cornmeal. This piece here is the Victorian recipe, and there's our Canadian back bacon. Beautiful stuff. I mean, it all just looks awesome. So I'm gonna taste it now. Okay, so got our bacons. I'm just gonna try the fillet one first because it's easier and bite size, and I want to see how it turned out. Honestly, that is so ridiculously perfect. It's not dry, it's super lean, but like it's so full of flavor, and the texture is, I can't describe it. It's not like normal, like loin or pork belly. It's pretty awesome. This is really good bacon. All right, we're gonna try the rest of the other bits now. So here's our smoked back bacon, Canadian bacon. That is so ridiculously good. Oh, and look, I've cut it quite thin, but I think that's really nice. Like, it's not, you can just picture this like with your breakfast or in a sandwich or something like that. It's not in your face so much. It's like, it's just nicely in balance. I imagined it with everything else. Really like that. All right, let's try the big deal, the difference between the Victorian recipe and the more modern way of doing it. Let's see if there's a difference. I don't expect there will be, but let's have a taste. So this is the modern with the cornmeal instead of Pemeal. That's just like the best Pemeal bacon I've ever had in my life. Like, I like Pemeal bacon, it's nice, I don't have it very often, but like this is spectacularly good. Wow, is like all I can say is like, this is so nice. Like, you should make this yourself. Pork loins in North America, I don't know about elsewhere, but like, They're super cheap, and it takes like very little effort to do. Just a little hint of maple on the outside there where I brushed it, but like, this is so nice. This is such a good way of eating beautiful pork. Okay, now let's try the Victorian, the original way, how it used to be done with actual pea meal and how it got the name Pemeal Bacon, coated with pea meal. So we'll taste it and see if there's much of a difference. And the answer there is no, not really. Subtle, if anything, but it's still some of the best Pemeal bacon I've ever had. Oh, you guys should go out and do this. This is totally worthwhile little project for you to do. It'll take no more than it takes like no time, to be honest with you. 4 days of curing, 4 to 6 days of curing, and then it's ready. I'm gonna finish eating this because this is so delicious. I've got a pretzel bun inside the Bounder, so I might be making myself a bacon sandwich. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I certainly am enjoying being where I am and living my life to its fullest. So listen, if you have a chance, please hit the subscribe button below. I'd really appreciate it. And I'll talk to you guys soon. Thanks so much for watching. Please like and subscribe. Any questions, just ask. Gonna fork with this. Subscribe. Subscribe.